Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. It's me Adnan Rahman. I'm the market analyst of Errante. And first of all, I am really very sorry because this video preview is kind of a late because I had some official meetings. I was out of the city. I know I might sound like a broken record now, but please kindly bear with me. Okay, so now let me take you to the analysis of the UK GDP. I'll explain you what do we know and what we can do. Earlier, we saw that the Bank of England has cut rate by 25 basis points and the rate went to 4.50. Okay. Besides that, we saw two MPC members. Okay, they voted for a 50 basis point of a rate cut. Okay, the rate was like this one. The voting was like this one, 9-0. Like all of these ones were into a hold scenario, and they moved into a dovish camp. Okay, this was a dovish type of a news. Okay, then as we see today that it's a GDP news, then we obviously have to convey our message for the GDP and what do we know regarding that. For that purpose, the main emphasis of the UK is on stagflation. That is the UK economy going to stagflation. So what is stagflation? Stagflation means your GDP, also known as growth, okay, is going down. That is what we are seeing. They have been telling us again and again that the growth is down, even though the momentum of this growth is also moving towards the downside. Okay, so these two things are downside, and the other one is inflation. Okay, inflation is going towards the upside. So when you have this formula, this means that you are in a stagflation type of environment, and this is what they are worried and scared of. Okay, and then we had this comments from Phil today, the same typical language that we will have cautious approach and the disinflation process is not done yet. Okay, and rate cuts can be coming in the way. See, the same technical language that they have already been using again and again. Okay, now what you need to be prepared of is that, like, in a scenario, if you have like a GDP, okay, like let me explain you, GDP goes upwards. Okay, there is a massive beat in the GDP. Okay, then you must keep one thing in mind, that if you go for long in GBP in the UK, then what is the risk factor? The risk factor is this, that let's suppose you are going long on this beat news, you go long on the GBP, and suddenly Trump comes out and says, okay, man, I have imposed taxes, okay, tariffs on euro and on UK as well. What happens then? This all strength will come into a weakness. Okay, that is the trouble. This is the main thing that you need to focus on in terms of a beat in this GDP. Okay. Okay. Secondly, what happens if that we have, okay, let me explain you one more reason. See, if we have a beat in this one, I have explained you about this tariff. So what is other pair we can consider? We can consider like Euro, GBP. Okay. What happens in this one? In terms of a strength in the GBP, we can expect this pair to go downward, given that even though we see tariffs implied on this euro and the other one, the most hit will be euro. Okay, so given the weakness in the euro and the strength in GBP, we can see this pair moving towards the downside. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, keep this in mind. This is the pair we need to watch if we have a strength in this UK GDP news. Besides that, now let me have a view of what happens in that scenario. Like you see some sort of a contraction in this GDP that is expected as well. So what happens in that? Like CLG GDP goes downwards. Okay, so obviously if the GDP go downward, then we can see a strength in the USD. Okay, because yesterday we had that the CPI, massive CPI news from the US, and it was a good one. So USD may have its role in this cable. Okay, so a GPUSD might go towards the downside, and one more thing, we can focus on one more thing. What about see what about this one, CAD? Okay, what about GBP CAD in terms of a miss in GBP? Okay, miss in this GDP data. We can look into shorting this pair. okay, shorting this pair. And this is not a smiley, I mean this is a downward arrow, okay. And what we can do, what is the reason for this one? Because earlier from the CAD we had this data, like if I'm not wrong, it was like 76k jobs, okay, added. And then there was like 90k revisions maybe. I'm not sure about that. I need to see the data again. But it was a massive, strong data from the Canadian currency as well. Okay, so and then that postponement of tariffs issue, the postponement for the 1 month. Okay, this also played a role in the strength of Canadian dollar for now. So in this miss in the UK GDP, combined with the strength of the CAD, so this pair might move towards the downside. Okay, so keep this in mind. And yeah, that's for now. These are the two things. Okay, the number one is Euro GBP and the other one is GBP CAD. Okay, keep these two things in mind. If you have a view of these two things in either direction according to the news, you can take your part. Okay, and now let me tell you something regarding this one. Where is the UK market right now? Just give me a second. In terms of court report, okay, in terms of court report, it's almost the same, like 46% is towards the long side. And how much is this? 53 is towards the short side. Okay, so here obviously there are more shorts. Okay, 1 second, I need to get this. Yeah, okay, here are more shorts over here. I'll do this red one. Okay, and now if we look at the open interest, what do we have in GBP? It's on the negative side. Okay, it's totally on the negative side, whereas we can see this one, see, gold and US are towards the positive side. So this is something we can see. And now let's have a view of what is happening in the other side of that one. 1 second. Now let's see what is the Bank of England telling regarding the forecast. Yeah, over here, see, totaling towards the downside. Okay, it's a downfall over here. And obviously, if the GBP, UK, GDP, they are tricky words, na? Slip of tongue. Okay, if the UK GDP is downwards, okay, revised downwards, then it can force this, the forecast to move a little down as well. Okay, so this is something, it will force the rate cuts kind of scenario. So this is also something. And at last, okay, see, this Bank of England has moved into this hold camp over here right now. But again, if there is a like a weaker GDP, then this can come into again back. It can come into over here in the cut side. Okay, and besides the, what is the CZ saying as? What is the CZ saying as? This one, see, according to the CZ index, it's totally on the negative side, on the 45%. So I hope now I've explained each and everything. What is the context of the news and how to, like look into that news in terms of your pairs and fundamental analysis. Okay. I know this video is a quickie, so I told you the reason. I know I've sounded like a broken record, but please kindly bear with me. Okay. If you have any questions regarding this, please do let me know. Thank you. So kind of you.